Today you are going to need to go to Schoology, go into your projects, and we are going to talk about the basics of masking. One of the things that I have available for you, and I want you to copy the link to this for your notes, is the masking. These are some of the things that you're going to need to know as you get started on masking. So first of all, you need to know what a layer is, and you need to know that the eyeball on the layer turns on and off the visibility of that layer. There's little icons on the layer itself. First of all, we have the layer name, so we have layer name. And then over on the other side, we have an image. And so we always have those things. Now, something that's new is the layer mask. And so I can zoom in here a little bit. If you notice this little black and white image here, this is a layer mask, and it will allow you to erase or bring things back based on using a black and white paintbrush. Now, when the link is active, it is erasing what's on this layer, and this will make more sense as we get into this. To add a layer mask on your layers palette, you're going to see at the very bottom of the layers palette, there are these little icons. Currently, the icon for layer masking looks like a rectangle with a hole in it. And so just think of like a picture, and you're cutting a hole in it. The tool that you use is just the regular old brush tool. And things that we need to know is that if you're painting with white, it is going to restore your image. And if you're painting with black, it erases. So let's give this a try. So we can get out of this and we can go into our document of current projects, and I want you to use the file needed for masking. So go ahead and click on this Masking101, and you're going to download it. Once that downloads, you're going to open that file with Photoshop. Now, because it's a Photoshop document, once it downloads all the way, you could just double click it in Chrome and it will open up in Photoshop. All right, now that it's open in Photoshop, let's look around. So let's start with our layers panel. First of all, you have the background layer, and that is what is active. So if we were to paint on here or anything, we wouldn't be able to see it because we're on the background layer. And then we have the girl layer. So what I'd like you to do is click on the girl layer. Now let's go over to the other side to our toolbar. Look for the brush tool. So we want the regular old brush tool. Now in the options bar, we want to go up to the options bar and we want to go into general brushes, and we need a soft round brush, not a hard brush, but a soft round brush. Now at the top of the layers panel, you can close that. Now just a couple of reminders, the bracket keys make your brush bigger or smaller. Now let's hit D on the keyboard for default. That will turn your color to black. So you can see at the bottom of your layers panel you have black. Now if I were to draw with this, it's just a regular paintbrush. Now I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. Now if I hit X on the keyboard and I were to paint with this, it just paints with white. Again, not what we're looking for, but I wanted to show you that. So I'm going to hit Control Z. Now we're going to add a layer mask. And now when we work with the black and white paintbrushes, something's going to happen. So let's hit X on our keyboard so that black is on top. Now let's go to our layers panel. And we're going to use that icon on the bottom of the layers panel to add a layer mask. Now you're going to notice a layer mask is on this layer. If you paint with black, notice the colors switched again. It switched to white on top. We need to have black on top, so hit X. And so now we have a black paintbrush, and it's a fuzzy edge. now I want you to start painting on her face. And you're going to notice that a lion starts to appear. This is because our background layer is a lion, and on top of that is a girl. So if we are cutting a hole in the girl layer using the black paintbrush, the lion's going to start coming through. And so what I would like you to do is just create it like this. Now you're going to notice that it's a fuzzy edge, so it's a very forgiving edge. So if you don't want to go on top of her hair, but you want to just go right next to her hair. The size of my brush is about 200. Now once you get down into the whiskers, you can kind of just stamp. And now we can start painting in the neck as well. Now if you go too far, if you went too far, just say you painted the whole lion head and you lost the girl. Well, that's because if you look at the layers panel, you painted too much black. So hit X on your keyboard, and if you paint with white, you can bring back the girl. Okay, so you might not need that because you might have done it okay the first time. Now, once I have the girl there, and if I hit X again, I'm going to just finish this up. So I have the neck. I'm going to stamp in some whiskers. Going to get rid of her hair line. And again, I toggle back and forth between black and white so I can fade it in nicely. All right, now this is what it should look like. Now before you go, I want to show you one other key. If you hit the backslash key, it's going to turn red. The reason for that is because this shows you where you have masked. So anywhere you mask, it's going to be red. And then anywhere that's not masks, it's going to be your regular picture. So this is showing you where the hole is. Now it doesn't stay red, it wouldn't save as red, it's just showing you that. So if you hit the backslash again, you can kind of see your regular picture that you've been making. All right, let's go ahead and save this. So let's go to File, Save a Copy, and you want to put it in, go to your Quick Access, go to Graphic Design. If you don't have a practice folder, you should have a practice folder. Click on it. Change the name from what it is now, delete the copy and put Layer Masking 101 hyphen your last name. And then we want the file type to change from Photoshop to JPEG. Click on the practice, make sure it's going in there, file name, JPEG, and now save. A pop-up will appear, and you always want this at 12 maximum quality and hit OK. Now you can close out of this. It's going to ask you, do you want to save the Photoshop version? You don't need to, so hit no. And then you're going to turn your work into Schoology. You're turning the JPEG with your last name on it into Schoology.